for electric cars using the solar panels, the energy generated from that. We're going to have a station there where people can plug in their cars and if they have an electric car, and recharge their cars there. Leads is important. It can be expensive, so you got to be very carefully when you're talking about public buildings that you're paying for with your tax dollars. But it certainly makes sense whenever possible to do it environmentally correct.
Thank you. It sounds like you are pretty much in the same place on that, so there's probably not a rebuttal required. Let me go over to something which it has stirred a lot of controversy, and actually in this particular town has. That is the question of whether or not getting MRAP vehicles for the sheriff's office is a good idea, and with the sensitivity to the concerns about what happened in Ferguson, and whether or not some sort of training program for the personnel who are likely to be using them can mitigate whatever concern that is being raised about that. Those are issues about which I think there are significant differences, and I'd like to hear where we are on.
Before we had Ferguson in the headlines, I had said publicly, I'm against MRAPs in Bergen County. We don't need them, we shouldn't have them. Thank God we don't have mines in the street. If we have a situation where we need a tank, we're going to call in the National Guard. But no police department, and certainly not the Sheriff's Department, needs an MRAP vehicle. I have heard that one of the reasons for the MRAP was to use it for high water rescue. We have 3 5-ton trucks that the county police have that we got as Army surplus that we have positioned throughout the county, and I sent a letter to the sheriff last year that if he wanted to borrow one of the trucks and needed it, he could certainly have use for that. We have them positioned. One is in Hackensack, one is up in Mawa, and one is in the other part of the county. But an MRAP, absolutely not. It's wrong for Bergen County on any level. Those belong with the military, and there's no place for them here in Bergen County.
Okay.
No one wants to use these types of vehicles, and I certainly don't support the idea of militarizing our police. But the reality is that in certain situations, armored vehicles are needed. The county executive recognized this need when she authorized the purchase of the Bearcat, a vehicle referred to as military vehicle by the company that makes it. When deployed, however, standard operating procedures must be in place so the public has confidence when you use it. Despite my requests, we have not received the standard operating procedures for that vehicle. It is my understanding that the county executive commissioned the use of that vehicle without any standard operating procedures in place. Everyone's entitled to the same level of protection, and Kathy Donovan has not made this life-saving vehicle available to the Sheriff's Department or the members of the regional SWAT team. I'm not willing to put the lives of any of our officers, many of who are here tonight, or our citizens at risk. That is simply irresponsible, and what I see is the county executive who isn't actually against militarizing law enforcement. She just wants to make sure she controls her own army.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're losing a little bit of control. Because she does get a rebuttal, and then Jim gets to rebut that.
Fielder, you're really mistaken. I'm not sure you know what a Bearcat is, but that's the bomb detection vehicle that the bomb squad uses of the Bergen County Police Department. It's specifically for that, and it has the robot inside that goes out so that we have potentially less loss of life of anybody involved. The robot goes out and looks to see where the bomb is and if it is a bomb. But the Bearcat, which I absolutely authorized the purchase of, is a bomb detection vehicle. It is not a tank of any kind.
I guess in Garfield the other day, then it was looking for a bomb instead of responding to a hostage situation.
I take it you were finished or not, Jim? Austin? Actually, let's try to make sure that we do wait. I thought the term might have been finished. I think you may have thought that too. But.
This is the military vehicle Bearcat. It's described as a military vehicle. This is what was purchased for $750,000.
One, no, nothing was purchased for $750,000. Two, that's not what the Bergen County Police Department has. Jim, your props are fun, but you got it wrong, kiddo.
Well, I don't have it wrong because in your press conference you used the same style pictures that showed the Bearcat and the MRAP, and you did, and you used. I saw the pictures, and you used the military picture of the MRAP with the turret and everything on it. Yes, that's not the way the vehicle would be delivered. But at the end of the day, this isn't about an MRAP. This is about using the equipment that we have purchased by the people of Bergen County to be shared with all law enforcement throughout Bergen County.
We're a little bit outside. You guys want to keep on talking about this or not?
No, because you can't make somebody not be stupid.
I'd like to turn now, folks. Is that working again? Ladies, professional. Look, folks. We really have to stay together on this. I'd like to turn, though, to questions associated with, more specifically, with governance. It's said that about 17% of the populace in Bergen County understands even what the term freeholder might refer to as the legislative body. And it's certainly clear that the public's understanding of what the county does is not very extensive. But there is no question but what there has been a major struggle between the freeholders and the county executive about what their individual authorities are, something that's sort of beyond the ken of most of us here in the county. Can either of you explain what's going on? Jim?
I can explain what's going on the freeholder side. I struggle with understanding what's going on the county executive side. I told you in my opening remarks, I want to bring Bergen County together. I don't believe that we should be doing legislative business in the courthouse. I believe we should be doing it in the People's House, 1 Bergen Plaza. So, at the end of the day, we need to work together as one body. Yes, there are different roles and responsibilities for each one of the legislative branches, but I believe that the people that designed our form of government envisioned that people would work together, that people wouldn't sue when they don't get their way, that people would sit down, talk to one another, try to work things out. At the end of the day, it's about negotiations. It's about neither one of the people getting up and feeling that they were all successful. It's about both people coming together and at the end of the day, working for the common good of the people of Bergen County.
The sexy topics of the day, if you will, get the newspaper coverage. I would say about 90% of what we do is all by agreement. I send the resolutions over to the freeholder board debates them, they pass them, things go on. So it's a handful of things to get everybody's attention, either in the newspaper or on the internet. People start talking about it, but for the most part, 90, maybe even 95% of what we do is by agreement, and it's worked out. But there are some issues, I will be quite honest with you, that I got elected to do the best job I know how as a leader, and sometimes that's taking a position that may not be in accordance with the freeholder board. That's the job of a county executive, to run county government. Not everything is going to be agreed to by everybody. We are the governing body, but there are times when as a person, as the county executive, you need to stand up, you need to say, no, we're not going to spend that kind of money, no, we're not going to do certain things, or yes, we are, but that's my job as county executive, so I make no apologies for that.
I knew that she wouldn't make any apologies because that's what she does. She says no and then goes to court. Over $1 million in legal fees spent across the street in the courthouse, suing the sheriff, suing the surrogate, suing the freeholder board, having people sue the county executive. An example, one of the constitutional officers, over $6,000, there was a lawsuit between the county executive and the constitutional officer, only over $6,000. It cost us more in legal fees to resolve that. You can't tell me that we can't work together over a $6,000 item.
Freeholder, I know you're new at this, but the surrogate sued me. I didn't sue the surrogate. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And don't be cute, Jim. That doesn't become you. The surrogate sued me because, and you know why? Because I wouldn't let him have 14% raises for his staff. You're darn right that I said no to that. Who does he think he is? 14% raises for his staff? That was ridiculous. And if it takes that kind of thing, and by the way, the judge agreed with me, just saying. But it's that kind of leadership you need to know what to do when you need to know how to do it when you're the county executive.
Let me pick up on an issue where there was substantial disagreement between the county executive and the freeholder board until about a year ago. And actually a new group of freeholders came in, and you were able to come up with a pay-to-play piece of ordinance that significantly retightened and made Bergen County again a leader on pay-to-play questions. And you, at the same time, both said it was important that the state do something about that. I was kind of interested to see that that issue got back in the middle of this discussion this week, and I'd like you to help us understand, because there's suggestions that issues of pay-to-play are actually still a major